You pick Red Barn.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm just going to say, too, it's not that we're choosing sides. We're not being malicious.
I feel
we
like
came to a conclusion based on the evidence that we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because what we're going to do is we're going to gauge our understanding of the story and our impression of community comments.
Right.
And I'll just do the story how I saw it unfold for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a lot of stops in here.
Okay.
Okay. The first image I saw was a really great image of You Pick Red Barn, which we visited earlier this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we kind of promoted them even and
We
said,
did.
hey, if you need pumpkins, here's a nice local spot to go.
We talked about what a great time we had.
Right.
So a great picture of You Pick Red Barn, and the caption was, Save You Pick Red Barn.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to stop there. Let's talk about things in Idaho Falls that need saving.
Sure.
On one end of the spectrum is Reed's Dairy, a true Idaho Falls institution, when they have something tragic happen to them like a fire.
Right.
That's on one extreme end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that one's so easy to say, yeah, let's gung-ho get behind this.
So easy. So clear.
Yeah, they are a member of our community.
Amen, sister.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of the spectrum is Ross Dress for Less.
Right. Some big corporation that doesn't treat their employees who are citizens here well,
And
you know.
I hope we've beaten that horse.
I know. And don't get me wrong, I still dabble a little in some Ross Dress for Less.
So let's agree that You Pick Red Barn is somewhere there in the middle.
Sure.
For starters. Now let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
You Pick Red Barn posted, we were forced to be annexed by the city of Idaho Falls. Let's stop. Cities annex. That's what they do.
Yes.
That's how they grow.
Yeah.
That's how they get bigger. That's how we get bigger as a city.
Yep.
That's how we go from a city the size of Rigby to the city the size of Boise.
Mm-hmm.
You annex some stuff. It happens.
Right.
And of course you're forced to. That's civics. And then zoning restrictions were placed on us. Stop again. Zoning is a thing so that I don't buy a house in a residential neighborhood and they put a pig farm and a motorcycle track right next door.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, the two main zones are residential and commercial.
Yes. Yeah, we learned all about this in real estate school.
Right.
Not only that, too, but a lot of the time you can be grandfathered in if you were there before.
So, right.
It was moved,
well,
you know?
And they were.
Right.
So they were, when they were annexed and rezoned, they were given a special use permit.
Mm-hmm.
So they could still operate.
Yeah.
But then they decide to put a pizza kitchen as part of their attraction.
Right.
And by their own admission, they applied for the food license or the vendor's license, whatever it is, to be able to operate this pizza kitchen at You Pick Red Barn. They applied for it. They never got it. So you would think that they didn't do it.
Right. Because why would you do that anyway?
Stop again. They did.
Right.
They did do it.
Which means they actively chose to break the rules.
And they say, and then it kind of gets into he said, she said territory a little bit. They say, well, there were 6 things that requirements we had to meet. And then they kept moving. The city of Idaho Falls kept moving the bar.
Well, and also at that point, if you can't get the permit for your little pizza shop, get one of the many delicious, delightful food trucks here to park outside of your location and have a nice little, symbiotic relationship with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karley, Morgan, problem solver.
Right.
Whatever the case is, the city of
but they did
Idaho
open
Falls,
again.
which I thought was a solid move, city of Idaho Falls, they made a post that was this long. What is that, 10 paragraphs?
Okay.
Almost half of it was saying, You Pick Red Barn is a fine institution and we'd love to see them continue to operate.
Right. I mean, they are the only pumpkin patch we have in Idaho Falls.
So the city of Idaho Falls said, here are the requirements that were not met.
Right.
You Pick Red Barn is not in compliance. Rules and laws exist for a thing. I think there was one gun-toting, gun-shooting, rootin'-tootin'
Cowboy?
Yosemite Sam in the comments going, this is the kind of shit that imposes on our freedoms. No, sir. This actually gives us more freedom, you see.
Well, yeah, especially because our main one is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if we're getting food poisoning, that is being taken from us, my buddy.
It's bad. This ain't the Wild West. We can't do whatever we want. There's no more hang-ins at high noon, buddy. Now, there's one more issue that commenters brought up. And what's concerning to me is You Pick Red Barn has addressed a bunch of the comments, but not these.
Right.
And this is what the commenters are saying, not us. I'm talking about the sick kittens.
Right.
Apparently, You Pick Red Barn has an opportunity for you to adopt a kitten while you're there. Did you see that when we went? Because I didn't see that.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, now we didn't get too close to it because I had Rango with me and he's a jerk.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, you didn't want him to
He likes to
chew
bark.
on a kitty.
He's great with other pets, but he likes to bark at them and get really excited and loud, and it gets a little embarrassing.
Are you an animal? Because I'm an animal too.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It's kind of like when babies see other babies and they start like smiling and laughing, but it's much more annoying.
But the question mark in the comments was, and look, this isn't us. I gave my opinion already. You got it. Now I'm just reporting the comments. They made it sound like a puppy mill. What's the kitty equivalent of a puppy mill?
I mean, I guess a kitten mill. Yeah. Now that in mind, okay, if they are having batches of kittens every single year, that's okay. They are not a big enough property to need that many barn cats. And realistically, they should be spaying and neutering their pets.
Right. Bob Barker wasn't on Price is Right for 40 frickin' years going spay and neuter your pets at the end of every episode for you to not.
Even barn cats should be spayed and neutered. You don't need to be having tons and tons and tons of feral kitten colonies in your barn.
Yeah.
You don't.
And the thing is, we're only speculating.
Right.
But we can only speculate because You Pick Red Barn hasn't addressed it. Everybody hijacked your post, and that's all they're talking about now.
Right. Well, and apparently they were like dirty deleting a bunch of the comments and stuff like that too.
Sure. Yeah.
Which really bothers me. And when I did go there, the kittens were in a cage. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of a ferret cage I had for my ferrets when I was a kid. So it's a really big cage, but like... it's cold. It's October in Idaho, and it looked like they maybe had a couple of blankets, but realistically, so kittens can't regulate their body temperature. They're like human babies in that way. They need to be kept warm or else they will get sick and potentially die. So I hope that they also had in some kind of heating blanket because realistically, if their body is already cold, when they get into a blanket, it's not going to work. The whole point of blankets is to insulate, not to create heat.
So we don't know what the truth is. We can only speculate, but You Pick Red Barn. I think your choices are, we're a barn and we thought it would be cute to have barn cats and we probably should rethink that.
Right.
Or reassure the public that they are indeed getting regular veterinary care.
And if they are, you should have paperwork. There is absolutely no reason you couldn't get those medical records from your veterinarian. If you can't, you're lying. Period. The end.
Right. Or just stop it. Or I think finally, reassure us that it isn't a kitten mill. You're not making new ones. You're actually part of an adoption program through one of the reputable shelters here in town.
Or something.
Do you think that would satisfy it?
Sure. Absolutely.
Don't spread more cats.
Well, and especially where there are
so many pets in shelters. Don't create more life that you can't take care of.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There are so many pets in shelters and there are so many programs to make sure that doesn't happen. You can get vouchers all the time that make it so affordable to spay and neuter, And if you don't know that, now you do. Contact your humane society. Contact your shelters. If you can't afford to spay or neuter your pet, they can help you. They don't want the problem either. They're sick of having to deal with all of these poor pets that are abandoned because of irresponsible humans.
Thank you, Bobette Barker.
Thank you.